Okay, so I should be live now. Thankfully, it took me 3 times, but I think there should be no connection issues. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. And if you hear a loud rrr sound, it's my fan because it's hot in here. I'll cut it down one notch, but it's still right beside me. So I just need to know if you can see and hear me okay and we can get going. Let me see if I can move my chat over to this screen. That way I can make sure I get to everybody. Okay, man, oh man. So we have quite the discussion to have here. You can see and hear me. All right, that's a start. All right, let me just pull up my Twitter in another tab. That way I can see everything. And I do plan on going live on Instagram after I finish up here. Now, where to begin? First of all, a little fuzzy, but you hear me? Fair enough. Um, My reviews, I posted those a few hours ago. So if you wanted like my full thoughts on it, I did reviews for both episodes. I have a number of other videos I recorded today, but I felt like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and get the reviews out quick, fast, and in a hurry. And then tomorrow I'll post my like discussion videos. But overall, I did enjoy these episodes. I actually really enjoyed the episodes. That's the first thing. Like I posted on Twitter, one of my only gripes about this week's episodes, it felt like Fatima didn't get any sort of comeuppance. There was no consequences for her actions. Now, was I happy that Zach, figured out himself that the whole dinner thing was a cover up for therapy? Absolutely. But the doctor, he called out everyone but Fatima. And I was a bit upset about that. It just felt like despite all of her manipulation games and tricks, Fatima got no sort of, repercussions for what she did. Now, she can say all she wants to, this was to help Zach, but it was wrong on so many levels. And like I said in my review, let me know if I'm wrong. But at the ending of episode 2, Fatima said, Zach, I think you need to talk with somebody. I'm not, qualified to help you out with your issues with your family. But in order for our relationship to move forward, you need to get the help you need so we can be stronger together. I'm going to be here with you through it, but I can't be the one to help you get through it. All right. And then from episode 2, when did she go to meet Dr. Reed? Was that episode 7 or 8? So basically from week 1 to like week 4, I don't think therapy was mentioned once. Paul suggested Dr. Reed for Zach, but Fatima never spoke to him directly about therapy after the car. So that's the thing that confuses me. It's the fact that Fatima decided that Zach wouldn't be willing to go to therapy, despite the fact he never said he wouldn't be against it. Now, in terms of seeing Dr. Reed, knowing that Paul was the one that recommended him, I can understand him not wanting to go to Dr. Reed. But Fatima took it upon herself to arrange everything because everything wrong in their relationship is on Zach. So by fixing Zach, their relationship is completely mended, despite the fact that she's acting like she has no issues at all. Man. But yeah, I did love the dinner table scene. It kind of mirrored episode 2 of season 1, where it was Zach. He was just going in on Belinda. I really like that. I can't decide which. I think I like that one more because Zach was not holding. He respectfully shut down Belinda. In this scene, it just felt weird to me because the doctor was just, respectfully and professionally just pow, pow, pow. Bryce, Angela, Zach. Fatima's just sitting off in the corner somewhere. And I'm like, why ain't you getting any of the smoke? It didn't make sense to me. And then a couple of things that I did not understand. Oh, actually, let me tweet that I'm live right now. And then the fact that, strangely enough, Fatima brought up, hey, tomorrow night dinner at my parents' house. But she didn't tell Zach they did a background check on you. Is there anything you haven't told me? And then on the flip side, Deja told Zach that she was going to plan to sue Fatima. And I'm like, Zach, wouldn't you want to tell Fatima about that? It just felt like there are certain plot points that really weren't addressed at all. It just felt like, oh, here's some big mystery or here's some big plot point, but they won't fit into this week's episode, so we'll save them for, another week. Fatima has men issues because her father also isn't around. I'd say yes and no. It's one of those things where her new father or stepfather really proved to be a valuable asset to her life, because I like him. What's his name? Henry? I mean, we only got to see a little bit of him, but I did not like the way Fatima's mom just went in on Zach. It was just crazy. I love the way he shut them down, or let me just say the mom, because the dad was understanding, but this man just came from the hospital. His mom pulled another grocery store trick on him, and now he's, going over to his fiance's parents' house to get interrogated. And I just love the fact that Zach so calm. This is the Zach I wish was at the letter reading crap at Karen's place. It's like, look, I've had enough of people telling me I'm not good enough, throwing my past in my face. I'm out. But there are a couple things I don't. A lot of y'all are saying that. Wait, what's the secret? Her dad turned to her mom and went, you got to tell her, right? Tell her what? There are two things about this scene. Number one, Fatima's mom told Fatima that while they were digging, they found some things out about Zach that Fatima might not know about. But I don't think it had anything to do with his prison record. It was something else. We never found out what that was. The only thing that was brought up was why he went to jail. Armed robbery. That was it. We didn't find anything else out because Zach just shut it down. Then he bounced. But then on top of that, I'm thinking that the stepfather, it's something about him, because notice when Fatima's mom talked about how, you know what, your father brought me down and I decided to leave him and, move on with my life. Notice how her stepdad kind of looked at the floor, kind of like at the very mention of Mona's first guy. It was a touchy subject for him. I've seen a lot of people, some people say that, oh, that guy must be Zach's father. Some people have said Zach and Fatima are siblings. Other people have said that this man is actually Fatima's real father. It's just so many things I don't know. We'll just have to figure it out. I think the stepdad is Fatima's real dad. If that were the case, it kind of makes no sense, because why would you lie about being her father? I don't know. I got to think about that one. That's one of those, let me sleep on it, and then I'll come up with a theory video. Yeah, the incest route. It's not the same, but it's just like on the CW, The Flash, where Iris is the daughter of Joe. But after Barry's dad got arrested, Joe took him in kind of like a surrogate son. So technically, Iris and Barry were kind of like siblings, but they weren't. So those two getting married in the show and dating just felt weird. But yeah, it's just weird. Don't get me started on Nathan. I mean, this fool. The fact that you kept pushing Connie. The fact that you kept pushing Connie at Zach. Then Zach shows up and takes Connie to go up to her room. A couple of moments later, you're like, wow, I think she on drugs too. Oh, that's too bad. I feel kind of bad about what I did. Yet nobody, not even Tony, decided to rush up there to find out. Also, I don't think Zach slept with Connie. I don't think Zach slept with Connie. I don't think Zach slept with Connie at all. I think it was a situation where he probably went up there, but he realized what he was about to do and then decided not to do it. That's my guess. Trust him. The last thing we need is for Zach and Fatima to possibly get together towards the end of the season. But out of nowhere, Connie comes knocking on the door and then says she's pregnant. I do not want that at all. Just please know we do not need that. Way too much baby mama drama going on. We do not need that. All right. Now, Angela. I find it hilarious how the beginning of the season, Fatima, you need to keep your options open. But then when it comes to Bryce going down the list of his kinks, fetishes, and swinger tendencies, Angela ain't having that. No, that's a door that ain't open. That's closed. Nope, I know what I want. I'm going to be completely honest here. I could see Bryce and Angela getting back together because of the fact that I think Angela really likes Bryce. I really think that Angela likes Bryce. That's what cuts so deep, because the fact that he doesn't like labels, I'll just say that in my personal opinion, I think what really hurt was the fact that Bryce cheated on Angela, because like she said, wait, I was your girlfriend and yet you're trying to lock lips with my friend's man. Like, what's going on with that? I feel like Angela really, kind of like Zach, she feels betrayed. So Bryce to me is trash because he literally cheated on his girlfriend by trying to lock lips with a man who clearly stated that he was into women only. So I think that's pretty messed up. Now, here's the thing though. Okay. Bryce is a character. I don't like his behavior at all in season 2. But I do think his character is relevant to the plot because he assists Zach in a business sense since they're business partners. I think I got to give Tyler some props because I do miss Jake as a character, but perhaps the actor wasn't comfortable with all the stuff that's going on with the character of Bryce. So as a result, he probably decided to do something else. I don't know if that's a fact, but hey, it is what it is. The reason I like DeVera, let me tell you why. The reason I like Bryce as a character, hear me out. Tyler wrote it so he's relevant. If Angela dumped him like she did, then he should be gone. There should be no reason for him to stay around. Yet he's still connected to the plot because he's a business partner to Zach. This is way better than the crap he's done with Calvin. Sistas is over 100 episodes. Yet we're still doing the will they, won't they with Calvin and Sabrina. It makes no sense. It's stupid. Calvin has no reason to be in the show. I said that for the past couple seasons now. The only quote-unquote relevancy he has is filler. Basically, he moved into Maurice's apartment. Now they can have scenes together, 2 useless characters, in order to fill up episode runtime. So for me personally, I think Bryce was written just a tad bit better because his reason for popping up in episodes now are strictly business related. Truth be told, I hope Bryce and Zach can really talk and hash things out because of the fact that, like Fatima said to Zach in the finale of season 1, Bryce is good for you professionally. But at the same time, yep, like the doctor said, it was a disagreement and misunderstanding. But here's the thing, though. I hope that they truly have that conversation because they are good for each other in a business sense. So I don't care if Bryce and Angela get back together. I'm more intrigued in terms of Zach and Bryce mending fences in terms of what went down between them. That's what I'm actually looking for. But if it actually gets to a point where Angela truly feels like she wants to get back together with Bryce, I'm for that as well, if it is written good. This woman is pulling a Danny. She's like, I'm going to have a hot girl summer. All right, you better not end up with Jonah. But regardless of, yeah, Zach doesn't need a misunderstanding to mess up his money. Yeah, but I can understand his sense of betrayal, and I agree. It's just that I hope they have a mature discussion about it. So there's that. So that's pretty much it for Bryce. Even though I felt like some of the scenes with him and Angela just felt a tad bit dragged on. It's like, bro, she said it's over. There's no need of trying to patch things up. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like we all have our little kinks or fetishes or however you want to put, or not everybody has them, but everybody has that thing. But the way he was talking about at that dinner table, I need it. I'm like, whoa, bro. It was like, calm down, foaming at the mouth. I need to swing. Nigga, like, whoa. How are you going to say you want to be with Angela, but then you keep saying, and I do like what Angela said. I did like what she said about how, well, Bryce, you say you want to be with me, but I don't want to deprive you of everything you think, everything you want and clearly need, which is a better situation than Calvin listing out everything he's into. And then later on, Sabrina saying something very disturbing like, wow, I mean, to be with Calvin, I would just have to take a pill or something so I can like lose myself in order to be with him. I'm like, that's not a healthy thing to do at all. Bryce is good for business, and he did bring a positive outlook to Zach. But the reason I want them to reconcile and have a real conversation is, hey, Bryce, like, did you do all that because, you were a nice guy, or because you thought, me and you would hook up or something? Like, I feel like that's a fair question. All right, so that's enough about Bryce. All right, yes, several people sent me the episode synopsis for every episode from 11 to 20. I have not read them. I will not read them yet. I want to have a night just to focus on the 2 episodes we got, and I do not want to read those synopses until I do videos on them. So this live and my reviews and everything, they will be completely genuine. I have not read the synopsis for back half of season 2. I'm surprised every single episode synopsis has come out, though. I have no idea when the show's coming back. Yeah, I mean, it was short and sweet. Angela, the hair, the makeup, the clothes. You're beautiful. You're confident about who you are, but you have a lot of insecurities. It was short, sweet, and to the point. And the doctor summed it up. I've said this several times myself. Everybody at this table, you talk, but you don't truly say what you mean or how you feel. You just like talk out of anger, and nobody's really listening either. It's like you're listening to respond as opposed to comprehend. Like, simply put, everybody was lashing out, and I'm like, that defines these characters so well, especially Fatima. I don't like Paul. I don't like Paul. The fact, this is just me personally. I don't like home records. Like, I went to Liberty University, all right? Dr. Falwell, Jerry Falwell Sr. Like, the big story was how he got his wife. Like, his friend was engaged to I forgot her name, but that woman. And the friend, like, he would give Jerry letters to mail off to, his fiance, but Jerry never mailed them off. And then he wound up stealing the fiance of his best friend and got married. I'm like, yo, that's trash. That's a trash move. That's a trash move. And like, that was I remember taking the tour of the Falwell house. And the tour guide would tell the story. And I'm like, yo, that ain't nothing to be proud of. I mean, but that's just me. It's like, respect the ring. And the whole attitude was like, well, they weren't married, so technically. So Paul, for me, that Joker is a snake. Yeah. Paul, for me, is not a good dude. I mean, the fact that you don't respect the relationship, you don't respect the ring. It's just the fact that this woman has clearly stated she's with someone, but you still ask her out on dates. You try to like push up on her. He said the tire, he's like, oh, well, I was hoping that you would be indebted to me. And I'm like, yo, Paul is trash. He really is. And not to admit, some of y'all saying like y'all know if he's innocent. He probably got skeletons in the closet too. He probably does. I don't think Zach slept with Connie either. Dr. Reed didn't. Okay, I do agree. Wait, hang on. Dr. Reed didn't let Fatima off the hook. I have a feeling that he's going to get into her next season or back half of season 2. She's not off the hook, but his specialty is black men. I agree, but he did a great job of analyzing Angela. And keep in mind, his specialty is black men, but he's a couples counselor as well. So he's pretty qualified. It's like I think I told this story years ago, but there was a guy from college. We were in a communications class together. We were in like a broadcasting class together, and we had a group project. It was me, him, and 2 other girls in the class. This guy had a girlfriend who would show up because me and him would kind of partner up in the computer lab late at night on campus to work on some footage. And his girlfriend showed up a couple of times. And then out of nowhere, she started flirting with me when he went to go get something from the library one time. And I'm like, well, okay, this is weird. So then they ended up breaking up. And then she tried to get with me, and I didn't do it, even though it's like, okay, that could have been a girlfriend there. But my attitude, and the reason I didn't is because I'm like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're making moves on me, how do I know that if me and you didn't hook up, you wouldn't flirt with somebody else? That's just my demeanor. So somebody saying that Paul will be that person in a relationship and cheating on her, I believe it. Keep in mind, when I call out Fatima, I'm not saying she's the main problem. My issue with Fatima is that she's ignoring all of her own problems, and she's making it like Zach is the only one with problems. He analyzed them well. He almost had, when this fool brought up Paul, I told you it was going to happen. I mentioned in the video, I'm like, I think the therapy, even when Zach is going to figure out what's going on, which he did. But then as soon as it goes well, I bet he's going to slip up and mention Paul, because remember, Fatima knows, Angela knows not to mention Paul. Dr. Reed doesn't, and he did. But here's the thing, though. I did like that little moment at the beginning, episode 9, when the doctor says, oh, I'm a friend of Angela. But as soon as he comes in, hi, I'm Jackson Reed. Nice to meet you, Angela. Oh, yeah, nice to meet you, too. And then Zach was like, and I'm like, yep, I like that. It was good. I'm like, yeah, that was a way to make things weird. Fatima has a big communication issue. Zach is triggered by his family and past. Agreed. My biggest issue is this. Fatima just doesn't, she doesn't say what she needs to. Everything is about bringing down Zach. It's like, something's wrong, Zach. Okay, what is it? Well, you should know. If you don't know, that's a problem. That's a freaking, that's so stupid. Say what you need to say. I'm pretty sure that's a song, and I'm not going to sing it. Also, I got to admit something. I do like the dynamic of Fatima's parents. I do not say her mom came at Zach, but here's the thing, though. I understand where she's coming from due to the fact that she went through, or she wasted a lot of her good years on Fatima's deadbeat father, and she doesn't want her daughter going through the same thing. So even though what she did is pretty harsh, she only wants best for Fatima. So kind of like, when Miss Lisa showed up at the beginning of season 5 and she was in Mama Bear mode, I didn't go in on her because I'm like, she doesn't know the full situation yet. So the same way I feel about Fatima's mom. Yes, I know Fatima said she was raised by her grandmother, but there are so many weird continuity issues. I'm not going to try to address them all. But yeah, it's like Zach said. Zach's been getting hit hard, but I don't like that he sat there with Connie and laid her in her arms and kicked Fatima out of the hospital. Fully agree there. He was being petty and childish. I mean, the moment he went street on Dr. Reed, I knew it was like, oh shit, here we go. He's just going to screw everything up. I think it was a professional move to tell Zach he knew Paul, because if Zach had agreed to therapy and then Zach found out, the doctor would have lost his trust. You know what? I will agree with that. I do think it was stupid, but I agree with that. I wish Fatima's mom just went ahead and tell Fatima. Mona needs to let that issue with Fatima's dad go. She needs therapy too. You know what? You know what? In a way, I think Karen could turn out to be kind of like Fatima's mom. She's always going to have that bitterness towards Zach. So when she eventually has this child, even if it isn't Zach, she's probably going to look out for this child the same way Mona's looking out for Fatima. That's what I think. I think Mona and her bitterness is who Karen could eventually grow old into. I ain't gonna lie, her mom looks fine. I mean, yeah, Fatima's mom looks incredibly amazing. Because notice it's so many years, and all she can do is think about, you know what, your father was trash. He was like he wasted my time, this, that, and the third. That's Karen. That is going to be Karen. Notice that it's a clear difference between how Mona talks about Fatima's father and how Miss Lisa talks about Karen's dad. You know, the fact that, oh yeah, I was in the Bad Boys too. But Karen's mother speaks about her past from a sense of experience and wisdom. Whereas Mona, you can tell she's still bitter about that. I don't have any idea what the secret Fatima's mom is. Mom has, nor do I know what was the thing that they found out about Zach that they wanted to know. We didn't get there. I bet Fatima's mom liked her ex and he left Fatima for another woman. Oh, you must mean you bet Fatima's mom liked Fatima's father, but he left her for another woman. It's a possibility. And then Mona just came up with a cover story that your dad was trash and I found someone else to make her dad look bad, but in reality, she was overbearing. I could see that being the scenario as well. I mean, think about it. Let's make the comparison to Zach and Karen. Karen was the one that dumped him, but then he moved on and she's been bitter. And you look at the fact that she still takes no accountability for the reason they weren't together anymore. I could see Karen growing older, either being with Aaron or whoever it is, having her kid grown up and talking trash. That's what I think. You know what? Music generation. Okay. All this work Fatima is trying to put in to say this relationship isn't going to work. Fatima and Zach need to talk man to woman and stop letting other people get in their head. That's the problem. Here's the issue with that. Fatima isn't putting in any work. She's getting all these other individuals to quote unquote save the relationship. She says, I'm desperate. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're doing everything but putting in work yourself. You're running around trying to get this person to chime in, getting that. Remember when it was just Zach and Fatima? Remember when it was just those two? Fatima, Zach, the one. Oh, you mean Ian. Okay. A woman is only going to take so much, and for Zach to be with another woman instead of going home to Fatima to work things out is foul. Well, technically speaking, he left Fatima's parents' house before Fatima, so there's that. Nathan set Zach up at the hospital. Oh yeah, I knew. Because, well, actually, okay. So Jeremiah told Nathan. Nathan told Tony. That's how they showed up at the hospital. And didn't Connie say that she found out because she hangs out where the mom hangs out? That's how she knew. Anytime my mom used to say something about my dad, I would say, well, you picked them, discussion over, it's accountability, we learn and grow. That's the thing, though. Fatima's mom hasn't really grown. She just feels still bitter. She's still bitter about the situation. And I can imagine, like, notice how Fatima's stepdad, he put his head down when Mona started going in on Fatima's birth father because he's probably heard about him so many times. That man was trash, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. Oh, we got over 100 people. This is good. Hit the thumbs up button. And I got my Cash App up there. If you want to donate to the channel, feel free. I really appreciate it. But regardless, Connie feels like home to Zach because didn't they say that when Zach was growing up and his mom was like either high or doing stuff, there were many nights where Zach stayed the night over at Connie's place with her folks. So yeah, you go back. It's Connie's like a comfort food. It's like, whenever you're feeling down, you go right back to things familiar. And it's like, Here's another show that I won't be watching. If relationships were just confusing, I'd rather be celibate. What right do Fatima's mother have? That's the one thing I did not like. First of all, Fatima always acts like whenever Fatima is in the line of fire, whenever she's about to be called out, she's like, "Can we not do this right now? This isn't the time." I don't know how I would feel if I had been seeing a girl for several months. We're living together and we're engaged. Yet she said nothing to her parents about me at all. I would feel some kind of way about that. And notice when Zach is like, "Oh, she hasn't," because I think her dad was like, "She really hasn't told us much about you." And then Fatima just doesn't want to like be involved in that conversation. That's just that was pretty jacked up. I'd feel some kind of way because her parents don't even know they're engaged, let alone the fact that they've been together for however long it's been. You too much wrong because she was never meant for fix a tire. Her mom makes her regress to a little girl. Yeah, just like Jeremiah. DeVal's acting. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. DeVal's acting in episode 10 was phenomenal. The opening scene where he's trying to help his mom, you could tell that was 7-year-old Zach. Like he said, the first time he like noticed his mom using was at age 7. So can you imagine like 7-year-old Zach not knowing what to do because his mom passed out or something like that? You could look in his eyes, like as soon as they got the mother to the couch and Fatima's like, "I'll change my clothes so we can go to the hospital." I was like, no, you got work tomorrow. I'll do it. You could that was a little boy right there. That was not a grown man. That was a little boy. And I felt, Fatima's mom is projecting her past onto Fatima, just like Zach is projecting his feelings about his mom on Fatima. You'd be mad at me because my parents really knew little of my husband before we got engaged and I brought him home, so I can identify with that. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to talk about these characters. I know if I were in that situation, because I'm old-fashioned, I would like, if possible, to meet with the parents or parent, because how some people, they've lost a parent or they weren't raised by their parents because this, that, and the third. I would like, if there was anybody in the position for me to talk to get permission to marry that woman, I would like to do so. But I feel some kind of way. Now you could argue, well, what about Zach? He didn't tell his family about Fatima. From what we've seen, understand why. Because one, he don't know where his daddy is, and two, his mama, well, it's understandable. She looked this woman was strung out, bleeding from the face, but she managed to get out there. "You're the bitch that took my son's money. I like that other girl more. What's her name? Karen. Y'all light-skinned bitches are evil." I'm like, dang. I ain't gonna lie, I felt bad for Fatima, like in that scene, and then at the end of the episode when she came over there looking for some money. I gotta give props. Fatima kept her composure. She was not disrespectful. I will give her props for that. I will give her props to that. Also, remember in season 3 when they were at Danny's apartment, it was Karen and Zach, and then Zach went back to Fatima's, because this was when Karen was on that whole, "I need to move on. I need Zach to tell me he don't love me no more. He don't want to be with me no more." So he goes over there. Then he goes back to Fatima's. Before he can even open the door, Hayden sent that message where Fatima was trash talking him on the phone. And then Zach went into the apartment and lied about being together with Karen. And that petty behavior, I think that's what he was doing about Connie when Fatima questioned him about it. I don't think Connie and Zach had sex. I think Zach was just trying to make Fatima hurt because he was hurt. So I'm in the camp that says they did not sleep together. But here's another thing, though. I want to ask a question. Even if Zach tried to defend himself by saying, "I did not sleep with Connie," do you think Fatima would have believed him? I do not think so. First things first. Well, if you didn't sleep with her, why did you go over to her house? Because his mom literally said, you were over there for an hour. I know. She wouldn't believe him. Keep in mind, in Sistas, Fatima believed Angela's nameless friend who sent the photo of Karen and Zach in the salon. It didn't matter how many times Zach denied it, how many times Zach tried to explain himself. She didn't believe it. She didn't believe it. So even if Zach stood there, looked her in the eye and said, I did not sleep with her, she would not believe it. I feel like all of them set Zach up at this point. Yeah, all of them. I don't think that Fatima would have kept questioning him. She's going to do it. I mean, Zach is too comfortable being around Deja, and Connie is disrespectful. Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. Even if Fatima didn't believe Zach, I couldn't fully be mad at her because the evidence is truly stacked against him. Zach kicked Fatima out of the hospital. Fatima comes back and sees him having his head on Connie's shoulder. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I think it's sad that everybody wants to break him up. The fact that his mom set him up to end up at Connie's place. The fact that his mom set him up to end up at Connie's place. I don't think his mom did that because remember, Zach came from Fatima's parents' house back to his old neighborhood to talk with Connie. Also, Zach let Connie. Oh yeah. He didn't because he would have seen a sex scene. So no. A lot of things happen off screen. Also, this might sound weird, but wouldn't Fatima just sniff it out? Because remember how she was talking about how, Angela was like, oh, are you sure? He's going to play basketball this late at night? First of all, Angela, shut up. The night game thing has been a thing since Sistas season 4. Okay, so she's like, yeah, if he comes in here smelling like soap and water, oh yeah, I'm going to start shooting. So then when Zach comes back and tries to get into bed, he's like, I know you want to smell me to make sure I smell sweaty like I went to play basketball. Zach, I'm not policing you. Fatima is full of it. So I'm like, Fatima, you were standing right there. Why didn't you sniff to see, Yeah, that is a theory that I also agree with, that Zach found out about Connie doing drugs or something. Because think about it this way. They're going back up to her apartment or whatever late at night, probably had a good time. He's probably going to figure out that she's doing drugs too. Zach's mom said they were having sex. He should have told Fatima the truth then and there. I didn't like the way he strung her on to make it seem like they did have sex. But like I said before, even if he said they did not, I don't think Fatima would have believed him. The doctor was right. Yeah, they both need work. Also, can we agree that Jeremiah isn't shit? He literally brought the mom. I don't even think he helped their mom get to the front door. He literally just drove her there and then, nigga, help your mama. Because I was looking at the beginning of episode 10. I'm like, wait a minute. Zach and Fatima are helping her up, but I'm like, Jeremiah is a big dude. Why isn't he helping, trying to get Gladys up to the couch? This dude just sitting here smoking. Nigga, help your mom. I'm tired of dealing with her. And then he just leaves. Brother made a cameo, dropped off a plot point, and just left. See, that's what I'm saying. Even if Zach said we didn't sleep together, she would have went upstairs with an attitude or made him sleep on the couch or left to go somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Zach's mom might have been at Connie's when Zach went to Connie, but that doesn't make sense, though, because of the fact that he literally is like, Mom, what are you doing here? So I don't know. That's what addicts do. They need to move. The block is hot. Also, screw Nathan, because I'm pretty sure Nathan is the one that told Jeremiah where he lives. Go back to Zatima season 1, episode 5. Zach needs to go back to her apartment because that's way too much going on with Zach and the people in his life. Or, excuse me, Fatima needs to go back to her apartment. I agree. People popping up, nah. especially with crackhead mama. Yeah, she's going to be constantly popping up for some money. So this is pretty dangerous. We find out next season, maybe. Well, yeah. Nate, anything else? I think we covered everything. I think we covered everything that needed to be talked about. Let me double check. Also, hey man, what would you do if Connie showed up at your front door? And my instinct is get shot. Fatima's mom's too stuck up. Yeah, I can't stand Nathan. He's not a good friend at all. He's worse than Belinda. Zach and Fatima need to be open and honest. Deja's show was quiet. Yo, that would have been funny though if she would have started blasting the music and then Jeremiah knocked on the front door. That would have been wild. Zach needs to end his friendship with Nate. Karen was with Zach for 3 years. Yeah, Karen also mentioned how she would give Zach's family money too. Also keep, and that's probably another reason why Gladys was like, oh, I like that Karen girl. So yeah. I wonder if the parent secret is that Zach is adopted and Gladys really isn't his mom. I can't knock any of these theories because they're so creative, and it's quite possible. At this moment, there is no official date for the return of Sisters or Zatima season 2. Like I've said before, I don't give a crap when Sister season 6 comes back. It can be August for all I care. I'm in no rush for Sister season 6. Zach needs to check his family and his friends about his woman. Agreed. Yeah, the fact that she kept calling Fatima out of her name was messed up. Also, can we talk about Fatima and how good she looked in that red dress in episode 10, as well as that like blue jogging outfit she had at the hospital? Jeremy told Gladys that, Jeremiah told Gladys that Fatima took all of his money. Yeah, he's probably saying that because he's like, oh yeah, she got this bougie girlfriend, so she's living it up while we're still living in the, ghetto. I want to know the secret of Zach. There are so many secrets and whatnot we don't know yet. I guess it's build up for what's to come. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. So I'll take a couple more comments, take a short break, then I'll hop on Instagram. But overall, I think that's pretty much it. Like, to be completely honest, I think I prefer Zatima season 1 to season 2. The first 10 episodes. I mean, the back half could be really good, but so far from what we've seen, I think I preferred Zatima season 1 to the first 10 episodes of season 2. No, he should not. It's like I said in a video. If he wants to help his family, his main priority should be, and it's like he told Fatima. I got money now, but I can't help my mom if she doesn't want to help herself. And that is facts. Like if his mom wanted to go into a program to get cleaned up and whatnot and, kick her addictions, that would be great. Also, remember, she told Zach about how Jeremiah wants a truck to start a business. I'm like, that would be a great joint venture with Zach, because remember, Zach and Bryce have Wise Venture where they're selling properties. So if Jeremiah had a truck, he could start like a little moving business. But of course, that's if they went straight. The same statement applies to Zach. It does. That's what I was thinking too, that they were late. Look, I hope they don't do that twisted, like, I don't know, Marsha and Greg Brady thing where they start getting it on. I don't know. Fatima did look great, but Connie made me laugh when she called Fatima Halima. And also she said, oh, you're the Beyonce. Yeah, I'm all the Beyonce. And I'm like, yo, is that a Beyonce reference? He's not going to get help dealing with his trauma until he wants to. I have a feeling he's going to talk with Dr. Reed later on. That's honestly what I think. After Ruthless season 4A, if there isn't 10 episodes, which yeah, I mean, Ruthless season 4, the trailer looks good. I did the breakdown. Yes, he gave his brother $10,000, but it's already gone. I don't have the desire to watch Ruthless because of the fact that we know nothing is going to work. The Oval is ahead of the timeline. The highest is still around, so it doesn't matter. Fatima's mom was a Gladys too. Funny feeling. That wouldn't surprise me. I think the dad is sick. Oh, that would be pretty bad. I would hate that if Fatima's stepfather is like, has a disease or something. All right. Anything else? Like I said, I have a number of, just because this was the mid-season doesn't mean I don't have more videos. Man, we're going to have to wait like a couple. I don't think we're getting season 2B until like July or August. That is just a guess, but I don't think we're getting season 2B until July or August. But it's like I said, Sistas season 5 truly ruined the Zatima experience, in my opinion. I kind of stopped watching The Oval and just watched Ruthless. I mean, even though I really like season 4 of The Oval because season 3 was shit, season 4, a lot of the characters really didn't do anything. Most of it was just the same old, same old. It kind of revolved around the whole Jason thing. Why do you say that? Could you be more specific? Are you talking about The Oval or what I said about Ruthless or Zatima? That would be pretty wild if Medea was the grandma. But it would be even better if the grandma was the mother of Fatima's birth father. About Sistas. Oh yeah, because I did not like Fatima at all in Sistas season 5, and a lot of her bad character traits in Sistas season 5 carried over to Zatima season 2. What happens to Zach's mom? I mean, in the mid-season, she got high, apparently fell down some stairs, then got brought to the hospital, and then started a bunch of shit with Fatima at the house. We might not even find out what Fatima's mom has to tell her. Medea is the grandmother of Fatima. I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Could be. That's why I stopped watching The Oval season 3, blah, blah, blah to me. You can miss like 10 episodes and not miss anything. Fatima got on my nerves in season 5. I hated season 5 Fatima. I hated Fatima in season 5. She literally became Karen 2.0. It was unbearable to watch. Her insecurities, it was awful. It truly was. The sad part is, season 5 started off with a romantic scene. Zach picked up Fatima from work. They went back to the place they met in the parking lot where she ran him over on his bike. And then as soon as Karen called and cussed her out, that's when Fatima just started to decline. And there was no coming back. Remember when Zach and Fatima scenes were only a couple minutes long, but they made a shitty episode of Sistas worth it. We would sit through like 38 minutes of boring filler trash just to get to that couple of minutes of Zatima. Then it got to the point where we just had way too much Zach and Fatima drama centered around Karen, and it just ruined their entire relationship. So a lot of their petty arguments and whatnot transferred over to Zatima. I don't know why Tyler wrote this into the story, but Fatima needing to process stuff, he basically made Fatima way too street and gangster and leaned too heavily on that. She's way too domineering, masculine, putting Zach down, not caring about his feelings, blaming him for everything, not believing him, believing everybody else. She basically became one of the sisters despite claiming she's not a sister. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't even say Medea is as bad as Fatima. Tyler needs to fix the character. Tyler, yeah. No, they don't need to go back to the parking lot because last week Fatima tried to run Zach over in the parking garage. See, that's the thing. I haven't reviewed season 3B, so I don't even feel like watching season 3B of Ruthless because A, I know my reviews will not do good in views. B, I could just read a summary of it and then pick up where I left off. And C, I know a bunch of people died and I don't care. He's supposed to let other people write for him, but I guess he changed his mind. Well, that's for certain shows. I know on Bruh season 4, we got some new writers. Assisted Living House of Pain has different writers, but I think in terms of his number one hit shows, he's going to do it himself. How does all this play into Sisters? I don't know what you're talking about. They both need to be in counseling. My vote is for Dr. Reed to go on Sisters to talk to all the characters over there. I would love to see it. I would love for Dr. Reed to just rip into Karen, Andy, Danny, Sabrina, Calvin, Gary, Preston, Aaron / Jonathan. Wait, what was the name that chick said that Aaron's name was? Jonathan or something? I forgot. But yeah, I feel like give Dr. Reed a spinoff, or just make Dr. Reed like, Deadpool. He'll go over to other shows. I mean, I need to double check. I don't think the guy that plays him is an actual doctor, but my goodness, he played the role so well. I need to schedule an appointment. Danny, especially, yeah, he needs to talk to him. Give us a whole series, like a whole season of just like Dr. Reed having one-on-one appointments. I agree with you, being sisters. I don't think Deja met Madam. Yeah, I talked about the timeline stuff, but honestly, at this point, I don't care. Yeah, I've seen that alert that he's on the show alert. Yep. All right, folks. Well, that's all I have for this live stream because we talked about everything there is to talk about. If you follow me on Instagram, go over there in a few minutes because I will go live to talk about the episodes. But let me put it this way. Week 1 and week 5, so episodes 1, 2, 9, and 10 were the best that season 2 had to offer so far. But I think this week truly brought it to a new level. But episodes 3 through 8, not really it. There were some moments, but no. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button. Donate on Cash App if you would like. If you want to donate money, watch the content because the ad revenue does add up and I need it. So watch the content. I posted the reviews for Zatima today. I do have more videos coming tomorrow and over the weekend, but that's all I have. So hopefully as soon as we find out news about Zatima season 2B, I'll let you know. And I will probably maybe watch Ruthless. I don't know. Man. All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all later.